Dear and respected laureates, it gives immense pleasure to entertain this happiest event of celebration of World Shorebird Day, the 6th September. This attempt is focused on the coastal and marshy shorebirds with shortage information. The purpose is to share the resources and preliminary notes on the shorebirds. The common name, scientific name, and the short informative note on the shorebird appears to be the secret feature of this attempt. Avocet is a large bird in Avocet and stilt family, that is Ricursidae. It is found in the North America. It uses to spend much of its time in foraging in shallow water or on non-mud flats, often sweeping its bill from side to side. Avocet is having a long legs. This bird is to sweep its long, thin, upcurved bill from side to side when feeding in a brackish or saline wetlands. It feeds on the crustaceans and the insects. Black-necked stilt is locally abundant shorebird of wetland and coastlines in America. It uses to forage by probing and gleaning primarily in the mud flats and the lake shores. It feeds on the crustacean mollusks, small fishes, tadpoles, and very rarely the plant seeds. For feeding areas, they prefer the coastal estuaries, salt ponds, lake shores, alkali flats, and even flooded fields. For roosting and resting, the bird uses to select alkali flat, even flooded one, lake shores, and islands surrounded by the shallow water. A black rail Lateralus jamoensis is the mouse-sized small black bird with a short bill. It is a member of family Rallidae. It occurs in North and South America. It will often make the presence of known with a distinctive kick-kir call or an aggressive, presumably territorial growl. This is primarily uttered during the night when this bird is most vocal. Under the IUCN Red List, the black rail is listed as endangered with decreasing populations. Slender buff-breasted sandpiper with warm tones, neat striking, and wide-eyed expression is one of the most delicately beautiful and of the shorebird. On the high Arctic breeding grounds, male erupt into an ebullient display with wings raised over the head, bill pointed to the sky, and breast puffed out to extraordinary dimensions. Unlike most shorebirds, breasted sandpiper forage in a dry, grassy habitat, not the wetlands. Sadly, extensive loss of grasslands along the migration route has contributed to heavy decline in the population. Buff-breasted sandpiper have long body and legs and narrow wings. Most species have a narrow bill. They are the small to medium-sized birds. The bills are sensitive, allowing the birds to feed the mud and sand as they probe for the food. They generally have a dull plumage with cryptic round grey or streaked pattern. Clapper rail is a chicken-sized bird that rarely flies. It is a grayish brown with pale chestnut breast and noticeable white patch under the tail. Its bill curves slightly downwards. These birds eat the crustaceans. Nest is twig type and placed low in the mangrove roots. Dunlin is the small wadder and circumpolar breeder in Arctic region. The plumage shows the distinctive black belly, some of the brown above with the two whitish V shapes on the back. They have black marks on the belly and show a strong white wing bar in the flight. Legs and bills are black. Tip of the bill is soft, covering that forms a sensitive probe to locate invertebrate prey in the mud and the sand. Golden plover is a medium-sized spotted gold and black on the crown and back on the wings. Its face and neck are black with white border. It has a black breast and dark rump. The legs are black. It is the migratory shorebird that breeds during the Alaska and Siberia summers. During non-breeding season, this medium-sized plover migrates widely across the Pacific. It is with yellow legs and long, thin, dark bill which has a slight upward curve and is longer than the head. The body is grey brown on the top and white underneath. The neck and breast are streaked with dark brown. Its breeding habitat is bogs and marshes in the boreal forest regions of Canada and Alaska. The godwit is a small and overall rather dark, long, upturned bill, red at the base with back tip. Breeding male shows a rich rufous belly and messy back, grey and white pattern on the back. Female is duller. Non-breeding birds are overall plain grey, but juveniles have more cinnamon tones. A white eyebrow in all the plumages is the significant feature. Most distinctive field mark is the back underwing only seen during the flight. Breeds on the grassy tundra in Canada and Alaska, winters in the South America. In migration, they found in the flooded fields, beaches, mudflats, and shallow marshy pools, sometimes in mixed flock with violet or yellow legs. Killdeer is a medium-sized plover bird easily recognized by bold pattern and loud vocalization. Upper parts are dull muddy brown, sometimes with rufous cast. The tail is long, extending well beyond the wing tips. Underparts are white, with two black bands across the breast. The forehead is white, bordered in a black. Brown auricles are bordered by white supercilium and black moustachial stripes. At the close range, note the reddish orange eye rings. In a flight, the rich rufous rump and the white stripe extending down the blackish upper side of the wings are conspicuous as it is a long brackish tail with white corners. King rail is a large chicken-like marsh bird with a small head. Bill is long with slight downward curve. Adults are brown on the back and rusty brown on the face and the breast with dark brown cap are the significant features. Throat is white, belly is a light with barred flanks. Call of this bird is low repeated grunt transcribed as cake cake cake. The least sandpiper is the smallest shorebird. Legs are long, bill is short, thin dark. Adults are brown with a dark brown streak on the top and white underneath. There is a light line above the eye and dark round. The birds forage on the mud flats, picking up the food by sight, sometimes by probing. It is a rare vagrant in the Western Europe. Lesser yellow legs are medium sized compared to the greater yellow legs. The bill is shorter, slim, straight, and uniformly dark. The breast is streaked and flanks are finely marked with short bars. Breeding habitat is a clearing near the ponds in the boreal forest from Alaska. Longbill curlew is the largest sandpiper of the regular occurrence in the North America. Its disproportionately long bill curves upward and sometimes downwards. Long neck and small head are significant features. The neck and underparts are light cinnamon in color, while the crown is streaked with brown. Using long bill, it probes the mud or other substrate for suitable food material. Food consists of the crab and other invertebrates. Long-billed dowitcher is a medium-sized shorebird with relatively long bill. Adults are characterized by a beautiful rufous head and underparts with darker mottled back and large white upper rump, feasible in the flight. It feeds on freshwater habitat with bill underwater in a sieving machine like motion. The marbled godwit is the shorebird, large shorebird. Legs are long blue grey. Bill is very long, pink with slight upward curve and dark at the tip. The long neck, breast and belly are pale brown with dark bars on the breast and the flanks. Back is mottled and dark. It shows cinnamon wings lining in the flight. Feeds on crustacean and other aquatic plants. Mountain plover prefers dry habitat with short grass and the bare ground. The upper parts are sandy brown and the under parts are face and the face are whitish. There are black feathers on the forecrown and black strips from each eye to the bill. Its call is variable and often low pitched, trilled, or gurgling whistles. Oyster, catch, oyster catcher is a national bird of Faroe Islands. It is a wader and occurs in Western Europe, Central Europe, Siberia, China, and the western coast of Korea. The oyster catcher with broad bill tips open mollusks by uh, precising them apart or hammering through the shell, whereas pointed bill birds dig up the worms. Much of this is due to the wear resulting from the feeding on the prey. Black oyster catcher is a large, entirely black shorebird with long, bright red bill and pink legs. It has a bright yellow iris and a red iris. Its plumage varies slightly from north to south, being darker further north. It is found on the shoreline of western North America. Nests are small bowls or depressions close to the shore in which the small pebbles and the shell fragments are tossed in with a sideward or backward flicks of the bill. Female Pacific golden plover is medium-sized bird. It is spotted gold and black on the crown and back on the wings. Its face and neck are black with white border and it has a black breast and dark rump. The legs are black. In winter, it has yellowish face and breast and white underparts. This wader forages on the food material in the tundra region, beaches, and tidal flats, usually by the site. It eats insects, crustaceans, and some berries. Male Pacific golden plover have a dark brown upper parts, spangled with gold to pale yellow or white. A white strip extends from forehead over the eyes to the wings. Breeding males are solid black from chin to the undertail cohorts. Females are duller in color. Non-breeding adults have yellow edged upper parts and yellowish heads and necks. Juveniles have a gold cast to the head and neck and spotted upper part. Pectoral sandpiper is a small wadder of North America, Asia, wintering in South America. It has grey breast sharply demarcated at lower edge. This species frequents mainly grassy marshes and wet fields but also coastal habitat. During the display, the male exhibits an inflatable air sac on its breast, giving the bird the English name pectoral. This wadder is long distance migrant. It leaves the breeding ground in Siberia and North America to spend the winter in the South America as far as Tyria do fail, but also in Australia and New Zealand. Nest is in the form of a hole scraped in the ground and with a thick lining. Nest is deep enough to protect its four eggs from the cool breezes of its breeding grounds. Piping plover is a small sand-colored sparrow-sized shorebird that nests and feeds along the coastal sand gravels beaches in the North America. The adult has yellow, orange, red legs, black band across the forehead from eye to eye, and a black strip running along the breast line. Head is large, round, neck is short, thick, bill is stubby. Black-bellied plover is medium-sized bird of Arctic region. The adults are spotted back and white on the back and the wings. The face and necks are black with white border. They have a black breast and belly and white rump. The tail is white with black barring. The bill and legs are black. It uses to molt in the August to early September and retain this until the April. Purple sandpiper is a small shorebird. Adults have short yellow legs and medium sized dark bill with yellow base. Body is dark and the top with the slight purplish gloss and mainly white underneath. Breast is smeared with a grey and rump is a black. Tundra on the Arctic island is the breeding habitat. Nest is on the ground, either elevated on the rocks or in the lower dam. The male takes the responsibility for incubation and tends the chicks. Red knot is a medium-sized shorebird. It breeds in tundra and Arctic region, Europe and Russia. Arthropods, larvae, hard-shelled mollusks are the food material for this bird. Head and eyes are small. Neck is short and slightly tapering bill that is no longer than its head. Legs are short and dark. Bill is medium, thin dark. The winter or the basic plumage becomes uniformly grey and is similar between the two sexes. Red-necked phalarope is a small wadder of the tropical ocean. On the open ocean, it is often found upwelling along the water waves. It breeds in the Arctic region of the North America and Eurasia. The toes are lobed. Bill is straight, fine. Female is dominantly dark gray above with chestnut neck and upper breast, black face, white throat. Male is generally dull in color. Red phalarope is a small wadder found in Arctic region of North America and Eurasia. It is migratory and usually for wadder migrating mainly on the oceanic routes and wintering at the sea on the tropical oceans. The toes are lobed, bill is straight yellow and black at the tip. Young birds are light grey and brown above, with buff underparts and dark patch through the eyes. Rigvet rail is a near threatened species of California, San Francisco Bay to southern California. It is a chicken sized bird, rarely flies. The breeding is from March to August, peak in the late June. Twig nest is low among plant roots and purple spotted buff eggs are laid. The incubation period is 18 to 29 days. Hatching success is similar light footed rail indigenous to southern California. Rock sandpiper is a small shore bird. The legs are short, yellow. Bill is medium, thin, dark. The body is dark on the top with slight purplish gloss and mainly white underneath. The breast is smeared with grey and rump is black. It shows bold black belly patch. Rocky coasts are forest sites. Insects, mollusks, marine worms, plant material are used as a food material. During feeding, there is a breast swimming, roosting on the rocks near its feeding grounds. Sanderling is a small wading bird. The winter bird is very pale, almost white apart from dark shoulder patch. Later in the summer, the face and throat become brick red. The juvenile bird is spangled black and white and shows much more contrast than the adult. At the breeding time, the sanderlings are territorial with male aggressively defending its territory. Least sandpiper is the smallest shore bird. It has greenish legs and short, thin, dark bill. Adults are brown with dark brown streaks on the top and white underneath. They have a light line above the eye and dark crown. In winter, they are grey above. The juveniles are brightly patterned above with rufous coloration and white mantle strips. They forage on the mud flats, picking up the food by probing. Sora is a small shore bird with dark marked brown upper parts, blue grey face and underparts, and black and white barring on the flanks. Bill is short, thick yellow with black markings on the face at the base of the bill. Marshes are the breeding habitat. Nest in well concealed location in a dense vegetation. Surfbird is a small rocky wadder. It is short dark, legs are yellow, black band at the end of the white rump. In breeding plumage, it has a dark streak on the brownish head and breast with a dark spot on its white underparts. The upper parts are dark with rust coloring on the wings. Rocky tundra areas in Alaska are the breeding habitat. The song is whistled like T T T. A turnstone is a tame bird and it is opportunist feeder. Unlike most wadder, it will scavenge and has phenomenal list of recorded food items including crop and the coconuts. The call is like stack tuck 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 tuck. It has a circumpolar distribution. It is a common sight on the coast almost everywhere in the world. Wandering tattler is a medium-sized wading bird. It is having non-pattern grayish wings and the backs and scaly base pattern extending more or less onto the belly in breeding plumage, in which both also have rather prominent supercilium. It is found on the Rocky Island in the southwest Pacific and on Rocky Pacific coast. Willet is a shorebird, similarly with the red shank but being larger than that of the greater yellow legs. It resembles to the godwit in flight, with coverts and contrasting with the broad white band, white secondaries with white rumps and grey tail band. Black underwing coverts appears conspicuous in the flight. Rocky, sandy, marshy coasts are the habitat. Wilson snipe is a small stocky shore bird. It is with short greenish grey legs and very long straight dark bill. The body is mottled brown on the top and pale underneath. They have dark strip through the eyes with light strips above and below it. The wings are pointed. They fly off in a series of aerial zigzags to confuse the predators. The male performs winnowing display during the courtship. Woodcock has a plump body, short leg, large rounded head, and a long straight prehensile bill. Plumage is cryptic mix of different shades of the brown, grey, and black. Chest is side vary Chest and sides vary from yellowish white to rich tans. Nape of the head is black with 3 or 4 crossbars of deep buff rufous. Feet and toes are small, weak and brownish grey to reddish brown. Eyes are large, located high on the head, and their visual field is probably largest of any bird, near about 360 degrees in horizontal plane and about 180 degree in the vertical plane. Woodcock uses its long prehensile bill to probe in the soil for the food material, mainly invertebrates and especially the earthworms. Unique bone and muscle arrangement lets the bird open and close the tip of its upper bill or the mandible while it is sunk in the ground. Both underside of the upper mandible and the long tongue are rough surfaced for grasping the slippery prey. Many migratory birds, especially the shorebirds, in most of the flyway are in the steep decline. Shorebirds are among the hardest hit and sandpiper species have declined by 90% within the past 2 decades. Many more have lost a great deal of their habitat all over the flyway and are on the brink of extinction. But there is still a window of opportunity to take the action to save our shorebirds. It is a need of the time to work hard to protect the wetlands for the shorebirds. There should be research projects on engaging governments and the local people or devising a new and creative approaches to restore the shorebird habitat. Thank you for participation in the celebration of World Shorebird Day. Thank you.